Few experiences are more painful than watching someone you deeply love build a life with another person. Yet sometimes, the people who awaken our souls are not the people destined to stay. In this video, we'll uncover the hidden truth behind why profound connections sometimes, and what it truly means for your future. There are few pains in life more devastating than discovering that the person you believed was your soulmate has chosen someone else. And now, they're not just moving on, they're getting married. In a single moment, the future you once imagined together seems to collapse. Questions begin to haunt your mind. Was the connection ever real? Did they truly love me? Why would they choose someone else if what we shared was so deep? If you have ever experienced this kind of heartbreak, you are not alone. But what if this painful experience carries a deeper meaning? What if the person who walked away was never meant to complete you, but to awaken something within you? Sometimes, the most profound relationships do not come into our lives to stay forever. They come to reveal hidden parts of ourselves, to challenge us, to transform us, and ultimately, to lead us toward becoming who we were always meant to be. In today's exploration, we will uncover the hidden psychological truths behind why someone can share an intense connection with you and still choose another path. More importantly, we will discover why their marriage may not be the end of your story, but the beginning of your greatest transformation. One of the deepest wounds a person can experience is watching someone they loved choose another person. Almost instantly, the mind begins constructing painful narratives. I was not attractive enough. I was not successful enough. I was not worthy of being chosen. These thoughts often arise automatically, yet they rarely reflect the full truth. Human beings do not make life-changing decisions based solely on love. The unconscious mind exerts a powerful influence over the choices people make, especially in intimate relationships. Many people mistakenly assume that if a connection was genuine, it would naturally lead to a lifelong partnership. But emotional reality is far more complex. A person may experience profound feelings for someone and still decide to build a life with another. This apparent contradiction confuses the conscious mind because we tend to view love as the only factor that matters. In reality, fear often competes with love, and fear frequently wins. Deep emotional connections have a unique ability to awaken hidden aspects of the psyche. When another person truly sees us, understands us, and touches parts of ourselves we have long kept hidden, the experience can be both beautiful and frightening. Such connections often expose unresolved childhood wounds, fears of abandonment, feelings of inadequacy, or insecurities that have remained buried for years. Not everyone is prepared to face these inner realities. As a result, some individuals unconsciously move toward relationships that feel safer, more predictable, and less emotionally demanding. They may choose a partner who fits family expectations, social norms, or long-established life plans. Others seek relationships where they feel more in control, where fewer hidden fears are triggered. From the outside, these choices may appear rational and deliberate, but beneath the surface, unconscious motivations are frequently shaping the decision. There is also the powerful influence of conditioning. From childhood, people absorb countless messages about what love should look like, whom they should choose, and what constitutes a successful relationship. Family pressure, cultural values, financial concerns, and the desire for approval can significantly affect romantic choices. A person may deeply love one individual while ultimately choosing someone who aligns more closely with these external expectations. This is why another person's decision should never become the measure of your worth. Their choice reflects their internal world, their fears, their conditioning, and their current stage of psychological development. It does not determine your value as a human being, nor does it diminish the depth of the love you offered. Your worth existed long before they entered your life, and it remains unchanged regardless of whom they choose to marry. There is a reason why some relationships feel ordinary, while others shake us to our very core. Certain people enter our lives and awaken emotions so intense that they seem almost impossible to explain. We feel deeply understood, profoundly seen, and mysteriously connected. Yet paradoxically, these are often the very relationships that encounter the greatest resistance. The deeper the connection, the more likely it is to stir hidden parts of the psyche that have remained dormant for years. When two people share an intense emotional bond, they do more than simply exchange affection. They begin reflecting aspects of each other's inner world, qualities that have been neglected, denied, or suppressed, often emerge in the presence of such a connection. This process can be transformative, but it can also be deeply unsettling. Many people are unprepared for the emotional exposure that accompanies profound intimacy. A powerful connection frequently acts like a mirror. In that mirror, individuals may suddenly encounter unresolved childhood wounds, fears of rejection, insecurities about their worth, or painful memories they have spent years avoiding. The relationship unconsciously invites them to confront these hidden realities. While some people embrace this opportunity for growth, others instinctively retreat from it. The unconscious mind is naturally drawn toward familiarity, even when that familiarity is unhealthy. If someone grew up in an environment where emotional distance, inconsistency, or insecurity was common, deep and authentic love may initially feel unfamiliar or even threatening. Stability can seem boring. Genuine intimacy can feel dangerous. Being truly seen by another person can create intense vulnerability, and vulnerability often activates fear. For some individuals, the emotional intensity of a soulmate-like connection becomes overwhelming. Rather than exploring these fears consciously, they may distance themselves, withdraw emotionally, or pursue a relationship that feels safer and easier to manage. A less intense partnership may allow them to avoid confronting uncomfortable aspects of themselves. On the surface, it may appear that they simply stopped loving or lost interest. Yet beneath the surface, unconscious fear may be guiding their decisions. This helps explain one of the most confusing experiences in love: how someone can genuinely care for you and still walk away. Love alone does not guarantee that a person possesses the emotional readiness required to sustain a profound connection. Emotional maturity, self-awareness, and the willingness to face one's inner world are equally important. Many people spend years, even decades, avoiding the very parts of themselves that deep relationships reveal. Until those hidden fears are acknowledged and integrated, they may continue choosing comfort over transformation. What appears to be rejection is sometimes an unconscious attempt to escape the powerful inner changes that authentic love demands. One of the most difficult truths to accept after losing someone you believed was your soulmate is that not every profound connection is meant to last forever. We often assume that if a relationship feels extraordinary, it must be destined to become permanent. Yet life repeatedly reveals a different reality. Some people enter our lives not to accompany us for the rest of our journey, but to awaken something within us that could not have emerged any other way. When we encounter a person who touches us deeply, they often activate dormant aspects of our personality. In their presence, we may discover emotions we have never felt before, strengths we never knew we possessed, or wounds we have spent years avoiding. Such relationships frequently disrupt the familiar patterns by which we have lived. They challenge our assumptions, expose our fears, and force us to confront parts of ourselves that have remained hidden in the unconscious. At first, this process can feel painful and confusing. The loss of such a person may seem unbearable, because it is not merely the loss of a relationship, it is the loss of a future we imagined, an identity we constructed, and a dream we believed was certain. We grieve not only the individual, but also the life we expected to share with them. Yet within this grief lies the possibility of profound transformation. Many individuals discover that their greatest periods of personal growth begin after heartbreak. The end of a significant relationship often compels us to ask questions we previously ignored. Who am I apart from this connection? What unmet needs have I been seeking through another person? What aspects of myself have I neglected? These questions, though painful, can initiate a journey of self-discovery that reshapes an entire life. Sometimes, the person we call a soulmate serves as a catalyst rather than a destination. Their presence awakens qualities that have long been dormant: self-respect, courage, creativity, compassion, or the desire for authentic living. Even after they leave, these qualities remain. In this sense, the relationship continues to influence us, long after it has ended. It is also possible that certain connections are designed to prepare us for future experiences. Through loving and losing, we learn valuable lessons about boundaries, vulnerability, emotional maturity, and our own capacity for love. Without these lessons, we may never become the person capable of sustaining a healthier and more fulfilling relationship in the future. The tragedy is not that someone leaves. The real tragedy is allowing their departure to prevent our growth. When viewed from a deeper perspective, some of life's most painful endings are actually beginnings in disguise, inviting us toward a fuller, more authentic version of ourselves. One of the greatest obstacles to healing after losing someone you considered your soulmate is not the loss itself, but the attachment to an imagined future. The human mind possesses a remarkable ability to create stories. When we fall deeply in love, we do not simply connect with another person. We begin constructing an entire world around them. We imagine shared experiences, future milestones, conversations that have not yet happened, and a life that exists only in possibility. Over time, these imagined scenarios can become so emotionally real that losing them feels just as painful as losing the person themselves. After discovering that the person you loved is marrying someone else, the mind often resists reality. It replays memories repeatedly, searching for hidden meanings or signs that the story is not truly over. You may revisit old messages, remember meaningful moments, or wonder whether they still think about you. Part of you may continue hoping that they will suddenly realize they made a mistake and return. While these thoughts are understandable, they can keep you emotionally trapped in a relationship that no longer exists in the present. There is an important difference between loving someone and remaining attached to an idealized image of them. When a relationship ends, especially one that felt extraordinary, the mind often remembers only the beautiful moments while minimizing the difficulties, incompatibilities, and painful realities. Gradually, the actual person is replaced by a fantasy version, someone who perfectly understood you, would have completed you, and was destined to remain in your life forever. This idealization can intensify suffering, because no real human being can fully embody such an image. Healing begins when we courageously separate reality from fantasy. Reality acknowledges that this person has made a choice. They are moving forward on a path that does not include the future you once imagined together. Accepting this truth does not invalidate the love you felt, nor does it erase the significance of the connection. It simply means choosing to honor what is real, rather than remaining attached to what might have been. Acceptance is often misunderstood as giving up, or ceasing to care. In truth, acceptance is an act of profound psychological strength. It means recognizing that we cannot control another person's decisions, no matter how deeply we love them. It means releasing the illusion that our happiness depends upon a specific individual. When we stop investing our emotional energy in an imagined future, we reclaim that energy for ourselves. We become free to rediscover neglected aspects of our identity, pursue new possibilities, and create a life that is not defined by absence. Only then can genuine healing begin, because healing requires living in the reality of the present, rather than remaining imprisoned by the dreams of the past. When someone you deeply love chooses another person, it can feel as though your entire future has disappeared. The heart often interprets such a loss as final. You may begin to believe that no one will ever understand you in the same way, that no future relationship could possibly compare, or that you have already experienced the greatest love of your life. In moments of profound heartbreak, these beliefs can seem undeniably true. Yet the human psyche has a remarkable tendency to confuse what is intensely felt in the present with what will remain true forever. One of the hidden dangers of heartbreak is that it narrows our vision. Pain convinces us that our story has ended, when in reality, we are only standing at the end of a chapter. Because we cannot yet see what lies ahead, We assume that nothing meaningless awaits us. But life repeatedly demonstrates that some of our most significant encounters occur precisely when we least expect them. The future remains unknown, and within that uncertainty exists tremendous possibility. The end of a deeply meaningful connection often initiates a period of inner transformation. During this time, many people begin rediscovering parts of themselves that had been neglected. They reconnect with forgotten dreams, develop greater emotional maturity, strengthen their boundaries, and gain a clearer understanding of what they truly need in a relationship. The suffering, while painful, becomes a catalyst for growth. Gradually, they emerge with a stronger sense of identity and self-worth. This transformation changes the kind of relationships a person is capable of creating. When we heal unresolved wounds and become more conscious of our patterns, we no longer seek love from a place of emptiness or fear. Instead, we approach relationships with greater authenticity, self-respect, and emotional clarity. As a result, we often attract partners who are more aligned with our deepest values and capable of meeting us with the same depth and commitment we are prepared to offer. Many people spend years mourning the loss of someone they believed was their only soulmate, only to later discover a connection that is healthier, more secure, and more fulfilling than they ever imagined possible. They realize that what they once perceived as the greatest love was, in many ways, preparation for something deeper. The most meaningful relationships are not defined solely by passion or intensity. They are characterized by mutual choice, emotional availability, and a willingness to grow together through life's challenges. A person who truly belongs in your life will not merely awaken longing within you. They will actively choose you, consistently and wholeheartedly. Perhaps the deepest truth about love is that the right relationship does not require you to abandon yourself, chase endlessly, or question your worth. Instead, it invites you to become more fully yourself, while being genuinely seen, accepted, and loved in return. Perhaps the deepest truth about love is this: not everyone who touches your soul is meant to stay forever. Some people enter your life to awaken you, transform you, and guide you back to yourself. Their departure does not diminish your worth, nor does it mean your story is over. Sometimes, losing one love is what prepares you for the love and the life you were truly meant to experience. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this message resonated with you, remember that healing is a journey, and every ending carries the seed of a new beginning. Take care of yourself, and until next time, continue growing, continue healing, and continue becoming the most authentic version of yourself.